In 2019 was the release of Triamid. Shortly after was the big tournament held by Mr. Decade Duel Links meta himself,
Back to Fortnite!
MCS 20. The common skill at the time for Triamid was type up binds, because the main argument against balance was that you cannot fit everything into a 20 card deck. I entered MCS 20 with balanced Triamid. To make room for everything, my deck was 23 cards, but I used ratios that still made balance work. I did really well in the tournament and finished top 4. I continued to play Triamid and it's still one of my favourite decks. Balance is also my all-time favourite skill. Fast forward to present day, 20 months later, Konami decided to nerf balance for the 4th time. Was that going to stop me from bringing my 23 card balanced Triamid deck to the post-Banlist tournament MCS 40? It almost did, but it didn't! If you want to catch me playing live, I'm streaming Mondays to Fridays from 4 AM EST to 10 AM EST. One big thing Triamid received in the last 2 years is Sphinx. Sphinx was a really big boost because it made the core of Triamid a lot stronger. You don't want to use many of these though, because having it as your only monster in your hand is not great, and the odds of that happening are unfortunately increased by balance. Not by much though, so it is still very unlikely. Speaking of balance, let's talk about it. In 20 cards, if you want to open one of each card type, you play at least 6 of each. In 21, 22, or in this case 23 cards, to open one of each card type you have to play at least 7 of each. That's old news though. What's different post-Banlist? On your first turn, during your main phase, you cannot activate monster effects. Also, you cannot special summon. Is this relevant for Triamid? Yeah, kinda. No longer can you boost with Dancer or pop with Master on your first turn. These things do matter. However, what is important is that you can still summon twice with the effect of Hunter. Hunter's effect to additionally normal summon does not activate, and so is not affected by the nerf on balance. So Hunter is a 3-of staple in the deck, alongside the aforementioned singular Sphinx. To round off the monsters, I do 2 Master and 2 Dancer. A good few valid points can be made for instead doing 3 Master and 1 Dancer. More attack, rank 4 XC summons. The main reason why I do 2 Dancer is because I can safely banish one with Pulse and then still have another one for later. Pulse is really good, but is it good enough to use 3? I use 3 Pulse because in a progressive game state it is always a good card to draw. Drawing multiple Pulse in your starting hand is not great, but I find that doesn't happen too much. Treacherous is self-explanatory, and it's really good in the current meta. Fiendish Chain is nice, I like how it is not situational. It's good against stuff like Levianeer, and is generally a good form of defense. One thing worth mentioning is that I am not using Power Sync Stone. I think Power Sync Stone is a great free-to-play option. Power Sync Stone, under the right circumstances, says your opponent cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! Sounds very good, right? Well, yeah, but consider having that card in your hand going second, when your opponent has a way to make it so that you end your turn with no face-up monster or no field spell. To get the value out of Power Sync Stone, your monsters and field spell have to both stick around. Removal of both kinds are very common in this meta, so I don't think Power Sync is bad, I just don't think it's amazing. Another big thing is I only use 2 King Golem. I do this to instead make room for 3 Fortress. A lot of cards in this meta want your monsters to go boom, and Fortress says no thank you to that. Extra deck is a bunch of good rank 3s and 4s, and then I play this one to slap over these ones, and then this one to slap over that one, and then that's the deck. Gameplay time.
Duel.
Ooh, this is a nice hand. This is indeed a good hand. It's what you like to see. Draw, discard. I'm going to discard this actually, because we can deck fin by 1. So. Do we cruiser draw here? I feel like we... I feel like we don't, because if we draw a trap, then we can't use Treacherous on the following turn if we draw Treacherous, so... we're fine. Vespercore. There, okay. But a delay too, is that a Cyberload fusion support? No, cybernetic, I mean. Adding a fusion, okay. This is fine. Fusion support, okay. Okay, now I'm pretty sure I do something. Because getting the Sphinx is kind of important here. Cyberload. Yeah, that's fine. Now we pop the Rampage by banishing 2 cruisers. So we go Fortress Chaining 2 to add back Master, then both Chaining 3, banishing 2 cruisers to pop the Rampage. It's important here to not banish the Fortress, because that is more important, and will stop the Master from coming back. And then on a new chain, we will get back the Master, and then Kikigana will summon the Master. Or Neptune effect.